At the start of the month, I did a little poll on the community tab asking you guys if you'd want challenge run style narrated videos summing up the entire run in one video for my Nuzlockes. I gotta say, with the result you see on screen right now, it's really a no-brainer that that's exactly what I'll be doing from now on. So, since BDSP was the game I tested out my personal hardcore style Nuzlocke rules on, what better run to also test out the challenge run video format for? So let's go over the rules of the Deadman's Lock. First of all, standard Nuzlocke rules apply, so we can only catch the first Pokemon we encounter in every area of the game. All Pokemon must be nicknamed. Fainted Pokemon are considered dead and are to be deposited in a PC forever. And also Dupe's Clause is absolutely in effect, which means if we encounter something that we already caught or an evolution or pre-evolution of it, then we can re-encounter. As with all of my Nuzlockes, I consider static encounters valid encounters for catching, gift Pokemon valid Pokemon to use, and in-game trades legitimately usable if I'm lucky enough to have a Pokemon I can trade away to an NPC as long as that Pokemon is still alive. Usually I'd randomize the game, but for this test run I used my normal unaltered copy of the game on my Switch, just cause I wanted to try the rule set and those games were new at the time, so I wanted to play them for the channel anyway. Battle style is to be on set for the entire run. No items in battle, only held items, balls for catching, and items outside of battle are allowed. I'm sure you remember that rule from other challenge runs. For every official league battle, which for this game includes gym leaders, the Elite Four, and the champion, I can at most use the same amount of Pokemon that they have in their team. To make sure I don't use more, I can only enter gyms with the same amount of Pokemon as the respective gym leader, and I can only enter the league with the number of Pokemon the champion has. Now that's usually 6, so we shouldn't have a problem there. But I can only fight each Elite Four member with their respective number of Pokemon, which means I'll just have to go ahead and not use 1 or 2 or however many of my mons in the Elite Four battles. I can't leave a gym after I enter with my gym team unless I beat the leader, just like I can't leave the league after I enter. If I black out, the run is over. And for randomized runs, I'd have to re-randomize and restart. Now for this run, obviously re-randomizing is not a thing, and restarting on the same base file is just boring. Every NPC on every route that can be battled must be battled. No skipping trainers anywhere unless I physically can't get to them. I can't ever run from a wild Pokemon, and I can't use repels in the run. Every encountered wild Pokemon has to either be caught if it's a legal encounter or beaten in battle. Now, obviously I can't do anything about them using Teleport, Roar, or Whirlwind, and I am free to use those moves myself, but I cannot use the run button. No deliberate abuse of glitches and exploits. Now, BDSP is pretty glitchy, but I don't think I even know how to do most of the glitches, so we're fine there. Now with that out of the way, let's dive into the brilliant diamond, Deadman's Lock. So we name our character Deadman as per usual and our rival Asshat as is tradition. We then set the options. Just because, why? In the name of everything, is there even any other option than fast? Which includes setting the battle style to set and go get run over by Asshat a couple of times before borrowing a Pokemon from the professor's suitcase. We choose Chimchar since I always take fire and also cause my options for fire types in this game are pretty limited.
Oh, well, we have lots of fire types in this region, like monkey and horse. And no, there's no more.
We make a bit of fun of the game. Oh yeah, sure, send me ahead, cause reasons. What is that? Why can't I phase through Asshat? And a bit later get to nickname Chimchar. We name it Firefist and set out on our journey. After buying balls at the local store, our Nuzlocke begins and we go encounter our first team members. At Lake Verity, we encounter a Bidoof and one Baldat. We name it Enamel and get our route to one encounter. The first one is another Doof, so with Dupe's Clause in effect, we knock it out and encounter a Starly instead, catching it and calling it Ringo, cause Ringo Starly. On the next route, Dawn wants to show us how to catch Pokemon, even though we already caught a bunch. And we're gonna get tutorialized to hell and back about catching now. Did you see her walking path? What the Also, we encounter Shinx, catch it and call it Kaminari. Also, we find out that Enamel has the simple ability making every stat change be doubled. That's pretty nice. Ringo has Keen Eye, unable to get its accuracy lowered, and Shinx has the absolute garbage ability of Rivalry. In the next city, we get our Pokage, get a Badoo up above and name it Thorns, and a Geodude in the cave above that and call it Zubat. We then get an Old Rod.
Yes, sir, an old rod is a good thing. You think so too, am I right?
You could take that the really wrong way, but yes.
Yes, good answer. We can be friends.
Can they take that?
Here you go, that's my old rod.
No! And catch a Magikarp with it on the route to the left, after what felt like 1,000 attempts without ever getting a bite. We call it Carp and go on to fight our rival. He leads with Starly, I lead with Fire Fist. 2 Embers take Starly out, while we take minimal damage. And out comes his Piplup. I switch to Kaminari, charge, and then Thundershock for half, with him only landing 2 pounds in a growl so far. Another charge Thundershock combo takes Piplup out. And that's it for the first rival fight.
What do you mean I lost? Well, that's it. That's the last time I'll ever lose.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Our encounter for Route 2 or 3 is literally non-existent, as everything is dupes cause the other spawns won't show up, and I don't want to grind for no reason on all the dupes I can't run from. So I end up just continuing on. In the cave ahead, we get the Rock Smash TM and the HM app for our Poketch, letting us use the incredibly large amount of HMs in this game without having to have it on any team member. Which is kinda the biggest plus of the remakes of the original, apart from not running in slow motion. We do not manage to find an encounter throughout that cave though that wasn't dupes. In the next town, we get a Machop in the route up north, call it King Punch, head to the mines and fetch the gym leader, and catch an Onyx there and call it Granite. Also Chimjar evolved from that catch. After fetching the gym leader, we deposit half our team and enter the gym. We take out all trainers in there as required by the rules and then fight Rourke. He leads with the Geodude, I lead with Fire Fist. All I need to do here is power up punch my way to victory so Geodude goes down. Onyx is out and also faints into attacks, Man Sturdy is annoying, and lastly Cranidos is a Mach Punch one-shot. This secures us the Cold Badge, we get our team back to 6 members and get run over by Asshead again.
Do you have eyes in your head?
On the way back, I try going for the lower level of the cave for an encounter and instead find a Zubat and catch that. I name it No and go on to the next town. Unfortunately, there aren't really any new routes in between, so no new encounters. Ringo and Kaminari evolve on the way though. Up next is the entire power plant shenanigans, so we quickly catch a Pachirisu in the grass next to it and name it Cheeks. Mars leads with a Zubat, I lead with Enamel. I defense curl, boosting defense sharply, use Work Up, while Zubat U-turns and Perugly is out early. It fakes me out and Headbutt does good damage, another Headbutt takes it to red and it eats a berry while it keeps using Thief. I switched to Zubat cause I felt like it would crit me and it sure crits Zubat. A couple of tackles later, Perugly is down and her Zubat is back out. I Rock Throw and she absorbs, which I totally forgot Zubat gets instead of Leech Life in this game, for some completely obscure reason. I switch to Kaminari and finish her off, and Enamel evolves out of the battle. We go on to the next route, catch a Shallows and call it Escargot. In the woods ahead we have to team up with Cheryl and her Chansey. Obviously I do my best to not get an encounter before we are alone again, since she's definitely gonna kill our encounters, and I actually make it through. We then encounter Wurmple and it doesn't survive a quick attack from Ringo, so that's that. In the next city, we get our underground exploration kit and go look for fossils in the walls there. Technically, I also get one encounter in there, but I didn't use that until a little bit later, where I got a Murkrow eventually. Mostly cause most of the ones were dupes right now anyway. We get cut from Cynthia, and our Route 211 encounter is a Meditite who we crit with Thundershock and kill it that way. Then it's gym time. Here we need to fight all gym trainers anyway, regardless of the challenge, so there is that, and also of course we again adjust the number of Pokemon in our team to the leader's amount first. Now this is a grass gym, so with the fire starter we have an easy time here. Gardenia leads with Cherubi, I send out Fire Fist. Flame Wheel one-shots, next is Turtwig. Flame Wheel again one-shots, last is a Roserade, and Flame Wheel two-shots, with her Grass Knots not doing really anything to us in the meantime. That gets us the second badge, and we go on to the Galactic Building and take on Jupiter there. She leads with a Zubat, I lead with Enamel. I use Work Up, she confuses me, and I hit myself. I Defense Curl, she Poison Fangs, I Headbutt for the kill, and Skunk Tank is out. She poisons me and I take her to under half, which triggers her berry. Snarl takes us to low, and I switch to Kaminari after Enamel goes to red. Snarl does about half, so I switch to Ringo instead. I get poisoned again, and Wing Attack does about half her remaining health. Flamethrower does a third to us, and she survives another Wing Attack. Quick Attack finishes Skunk Tank, but... Oh no, it has Aftermath! Oh no! No! That's our first death. We put No on the team instead, get a bike, and go on to Cycling Road. After battling all the trainers down there, we get our encounter in the grass below, which is the second fire type of the region, Ponyta. We catch it and call it Wildfire and send it off to the box for now, as we already have a fire type. In Wayward Cave to the north, we encounter Bronzor and name it Pumarin, also sending it to the box for now, as our team seems decent enough. A bit further on we meet Dawn, go back to the flower meadow and get an encounter from the honey tree there, which unfortunately was just a Wurmple. We name it Rando and go on to revive our fossil, Granidos. We name it Ulti after a One Piece character who has the Pachycephalosaurus Ancient Zone Devil Fruit. Also Thorns finally evolves into a Roselia here, good that that is finally usable. We get into Mount Cornet and catch Meditite here and call it Zen. We also meet Cyrus, who monologues us to death while looking like he doesn't have a nose.
Strife has spread.
Dude, let me interrupt there for a minute. Where is he?
Who?
The guy who asked. On the other side, we encounter a Psyduck, catch it, and call it Grapes.
Got any grapes?
Or at least we wanted to. Boy. Okay. Are we back to the fucking stupid, complete, utter garbage sensor system? Not being able to differentiate between a normal word that happens to have a word that is not okay in it. This sensor system is legit the most degenerate thing I've ever seen in the Pokemon franchise. Like, just fucking block the names from online or multiplayer in general if you don't want that to show up, if you really need to, but don't generally block me from naming my Pokemon what I want to name them, especially if they don't actually have any names that are in any way not safe for work. Or, I guess, not safe for children. I can name my rival Asshead after all, and that's fine. Either way, we use the alternate character workaround and have Zubat evolve. Unfortunately, we can't get the trade evo here since I can't really trade in multiplayer on the Nuzlocke. Seems cheaty to me. Instead, we get to Hearthome, where they worship the god of death of field, apparently? Like, hell is that blurry. and meet Fantina in front of the contest hall. Then we go on to fight Barry. He leads with Stali, however he hasn't evolved that yet, and I lead with Thorns. I then switch to Kaminari and Spark one-shots. Next is Prinplup, so Spark puts him to red, and another kills. His Roselia is next, so I go to Fire Fist, Magical Leaf does nothing to us, and Flame Wheel one-shots. Ponyta comes out, and I go to Zubat, Bulldoze one-shots the horse, that's it. We go on to the route that sounds like it has 21 Guns by Green Day playing in the background. Tell me it doesn't. And encounter Mime Jr. We call it Meme and continue with our lives. No evolves, and we get strength from the top of the Graveyard Tower. The encounter there is a Ghastly that we call Phantom, and then we get to Salacian Town. We go into the Ruins of Blur, where we catch an Unknown. Up above the town we fight in the cafe, and Kaminari evolves again. Up next is Veilstone City and the Fighting Gym. We get a bunch of TMs in the big store, deposit half of our team since the gym leader has 3 Pokemon again, and go on to fight Maylene. She leads with a Meditite, I lead with no. Air Cutter one-shots. Machoke is next, and Air Cutter one-shots with a crit. No idea if that mattered. Last is her Lucario, so I go to Fire Fist and Fire Blast one-shots. How exactly is this gym even a challenge? My badges are totally fucking rancid by now. Coming out of the gym, Dawn wants us to steal her Pokédex back from Team Galactic, so we get our team back in order, change up our style a bit, and beat up Team Galactic alongside Dawn. We get back to Eterna City real quick and catch a Barboach in a lake that's still inside the city according to the route pop-ups. So there's that, we name it Fish, and next is Route 214. No evolves into Crobat here, and we encounter a Giraffaric who we name Neck. We encounter Weasel just outside the next town with a gym and name it Jetski, then it's gym time. Crash Awake has 3 Mons as well, so again we deposit half our team and challenge the gym. Wake leads with Water Onyx, I lead with Thorns. Giga Drain does about half, so does his Ice Fang. Giga Drain kills the next turn and heals us back a bit. Quagsire is next and feigns to a single Giga Drain, getting us back to full. And last is his Floatzel. I switch to Kaminari for fear of more ice, which I predict correctly. Thunderbolt one-shots, and that's it. Next we encounter Wooper in the marsh to the left and call it Gills, and a Meryl in Safari Zone that we call Bubbles. We get Defog and Creep on a Galactic Grunt for a bit until Asshead wants to battle again. The poor boy still leads with a Starly, so we just smack down one-shot it with Zubat. Prinplup is out and we go to Kaminari. Bubble Beam does good damage and Thunderbolt one-shots. Roselia is next and I switch to Fire Fist. Magical Leaf does nothing and Fire Blast one-shots. Ponyta is last and I Mach Punch for half, and then another finishes it. Fire Fist evolves after this fight, we continue creeping on the Galactic Grunt and meet Cynthia, who gives us medicine for the Psyduck on Route 210. So we take the swamp route back to Hardhome, so we don't skip any trainers, and go for the Psyduck I mentioned before. After giving them the med, Cynthia appears, so I'm kinda wondering why she didn't deliver it herself, if she was gonna come here anyway, and then we continue to the Fog route. Nicely enough, the HMs don't need move slots in this game, because Defog is utterly useless outside of the overworld use. We arrive in Celestic Town and deal with Team Galactic there, and then go back to Hardhome to Fantina's gym. She also still only has 3 Mons, so half the team gets boxed again, and we do a bit of math intentionally wrong to fight all gym trainers. Fantina herself leads with Drifloon, I lead with no. Thief does good damage, while Hex doesn't. Another Thief kills, and Aftermath isn't enough to do us any harm. Gengar is next, so I fly, and one-shot with a crit. Last is a Miss Magus, and I fly again. She Phantom Forces, so I miss and get hit to yellow. Then I use Thief to take more than half of her health. She Phantom Forces again, so I fly on the setup turn, and she eats the fly this time, and we win. We meet Cynthia in front of the gym and continue to Canalave City. There we face off against Asshead again, who finally evolved his Stali and leads with his new Staravia. I lead with Kaminari and his bird gets fried instantly. Roselia is next, so I go to Thorns for Roselia on our fight. Shadow Ball takes him to half and he Giga Drains for hardly anything. Another Shadow Ball takes him to red and he uses Growth for some reason. I then Giga Drain him to death to show what a real Giga Drain looks like. Out comes his Heracross and I go to Fire Fist. Aerial Ace takes about a third off of our health and Fire Blast one-shots. Printblob is next and I switch back to Kaminari, he brinds and Thunderbolt one-shots. Last is his Ponyta, so I just Thunderbolt it to red, take a Flame Wheel, it heals with a Shell Bell. It is very interesting that trainers actually use held items in this game, and Bite finishes him. We use Surf on the water of the town to get a Tentacool encounter. Of course the game won't let me use the usual name I use for it, so we do the workaround again and send Hentai to the PC for now. Off to Iron Island real quick before the gym. We meet Riley, beat up some galactic goofs with him, and he gives us a Riolu egg that we send to the box. We also find a shiny stone and evolve Thorns into a Roserade. We also get a Wingull as an encounter for this area, and the game again makes me jump through hoops to name it what I want. I hate that censor system. Like, if you don't want a Pokemon with, like, a theoretically, and that's very much theoretically in this case, not safe for work name, or not safe for Pokemon name, to be used online or something, then just ban the mon that's named like that from the online, and don't fucking ban the fucking name. The gym in Canalave still only has 3 mons, so we drop half our team into the box and get through the gym real quick. Byron leads with Bronzor, I lead with Fire Fist, Fire Blast one-shots. Steelix is next and lives on 1 cause of Sturdy and uses Sandstorm. He potions while I use Power Up Punch and then finish it with Close Combat. Last is his Bastiodon, and Close Combat again gets countered by Sturdy. He eats a berry and takes us to half with Stone Edge. Our final Close Combat finishes the match. Asshead is waiting outside to tell us to come to the library. There we meet the Professor and Dawn and get sent to the lakes for investigations. We get to the blown up Lake Valor and fight Saturn. His Kadabra gets one-shot by Thief from No, his Bronzor would take 2. Confuses us though, so we hit ourselves twice before finishing it. Toxic Rogue is last and Steelwing does a third, then I fly for the kill. We then go back to the first lake and beat up more galactic goofs before sweeping Mars with No and Fire Fist pretty easily as well. And with that, off to the snow area. We get a Snova for our encounter and call it Yeti. The deep snow area is also significantly less slow than the crawling speed of the original Gen 4 games. At the Acuity Lakefront, we catch a Sneasel and call it Gesundheit, and then we get to Snow Point and its gym. The leader has 4 Pokemon, so we drop off 2 and get through the Snowball puzzle. Candice leads with Snowbur, I lead with Fire Fist. Snow Warning makes it hail, and I Power Up Punch one-shot. Sneasel is next, and even though it has a berry against it, Power Up Punch one-shots again. Magic comes out, which is not an Ice type, what the F, Candice, and gets one-shot by Shadow Claw. Abomasnow is last, and Fire Blast one-shots. Nice sweep fest. Back to the lake, just in time to see Asshead get wiped by Jupiter. We then fly to Veilstone to wipe out the Galactic HQ. At the top, we fight Cyrus, aka the Lord Voldemort pop figurine. Like seriously, where's your nose, dude? He leads with Murkrow, I lead with Zubat. Nightshade does 40 damage to us, and Smackdown one-shots. Sneasel is next, uses Hone Claws, and dies to Smackdown as well. Last is his Golbat, who screeches and then gets taken to red by Smackdown. He Super Potions and then dies to another Smackdown. He gives us the Master Ball, and we go free the Lake Spirits. Saturn gets wiped out pretty easily as well, and the Lake Spirits go back to their lakes. We battle our way up Mount Cornet to the ruins, and Cyrus summons Dialga. Jupiter and Mars want to battle, and Asshead paddles alongside us. They send out Bronzors, Asshead has a Munchlax, and I lead with Thorns. Shadow Ball takes out one Bronzer and Skunk Tank comes out. I switch to Zubat because I know that has Flamethrower. Earthquake kills the Munchlax and takes the Skunk to half. Asshat sends out his Staraptor and close combats Skunk Tank, who belches it off the field. Skunk Tank then gets Earthquake to death. Asshat sends out a Heracross and Golbat comes out on Jupiter's side. The Heracross kills the other Bronzer, and Golbat, who I still don't understand why they put Absorb on that line instead of Leech Life for this game, kills Zubat. I send out Kaminari and Thunderbolt one-shots Golbat. Partly gets taken out by Heracross and Marce's Golbat is last. Thunderbolt again one-shots, that's it. Asshat runs away after healing our team, and we face Cyrus without being able to switch out our dead Zubat. He leads with Honchkrow, and I need to switch out Thorns for Kaminari right away. Thunderbolt one-shots with little resistance. Gyarados is next. He actually has the berry to make my Thunderbolt not one-shot, Earthquake takes us to half, and another Thunderbolt kills. Weavile is next, and I switch to Fire Fist. He digs, so I switch to No as a counter, and he misses. Dark is also weak against Bug, so X-Scissors take it to half. It aerial laces for little damage, and another X-Scissors kills. His Crobat is out, so I opt for the Crobat Honor Fight, since Kaminari would probably not survive the switch. Fly takes a good chunk, Air Cutter doesn't do much back, and we keep doing that for a bit. He full restores, and we start over. Eventually he goes down though, and we go on to fight Dialga. We box a Graveler that's now dead and fight Dialga, who will be our next team member. I opt not to use the Master Ball, cause having that for shiny hunting later was something I wanted to have. We wiggle it down to yellow, para it with Kaminari, and Roar of Time one-shots. Death 3. We also Dusk Ball it after that, and...
Kinda wanna call it Murderer right now, but I can't type that. Probably.
Fucking Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, nickname fucking sensor system. You can't call something grapes because it contains the word rape. You can't call something snatch because it's a slang term for vagina. But you can call something murderer, cause murder is totally fine! So with Murderer on our team, we bury Kaminari and add Fish for a lack of a ground type. After the last city, and on the way Fish evolves. Walking into the city, we meet Flint of the Elite Four, and he tells us to get the gym leader to do his job. So we do, and go face him in his gym. He has 4 mons, so I drop off Noah in the Enamel for now, and battle our way through to him. He leads with Raichu, I lead with Thorns, Sludge Bomb one-shots. Next is his A-Palm, he fakes me out and misses with Thunderbolts, then Sludge Bomb one-shots. Octillery is next and gets Giga Drained off the field, and last is his Luxray. I switch to Murderer to very ironically kill him off with Roar of Time. That's it. Jasmine from Johto gives us Waterfall at the coast, and we make our way through Victory Road to the League. Once we are there, we battle Asshat for a final time. He leads with Staraptor, I lead with Murderer. He rain dances for some reason and Thunderbolt crits to 1 HP, cause he's holding a Focus Sash. Close Combat takes us to half and he dies the next round. Snorlax is next, so I go to Fire Fist and get Yawned. Close Combat one-shots him, putting us to sleep. Empoleon is next and I switch back to Murderer. He charms and the rain stops. Thunderbolt one-shots. Roserade comes out and I go to No, Shadow Ball misses and I fly for a one-shot. Heracross is next and Fly is quite effective, so one-shot. Last is his Rapidash and I switch to Fish, Flame Wheel does nothing and Earthquake one-shots. Done. Elite 4 time. Up first, Aaron, who leads with Dustox and has 5 mons, so we can't use one of our 6 mons. We send out Fire Fist, Fire Blast one-shots Dustox, next is Heracross. Again Fire Blast one-shots. Out comes Beautyfly, also running into a Fire Blast. Next is Vespiquen, who avoids a Fire Blast and defend orders. Fire Blast misses again, so I switch to No. Aerial Ace doesn't do much to us, neither does our Fly to him. we keep going like that, and he eats a berry. A few turns later, he full restores from red, and no dice from acrobatics. Death 4. I send out Murderer and go for Thunderbolt, which takes him to red and paras. He full restores again. Who are you, fucking Lance? Full restore Spam Master? Another 2 Thunderbolts later, Vespiquen dies, Drapion is last, and Earthquakes us to under half. Roar of Time then one-shots. So we continue onwards with a team of 5 after using a few items. Next is Bertha, who leads with Quagsire. I send out Thorns and Giga Drain one-shots. Whiscash is next, again Giga Drain one-shots. Sudowoodo comes out and Giga Drain one-shots again. Golem has 30, so it doesn't get one-shot, so she full restores, I Shadow Ball, and then Giga Drain takes the rest. Last is Harry with Sandstream and gets Giga Drain to red, then misses Earthquake cause of affection hacks, and full restore happens. Giga Drain again puts it to red, and the last Giga Drain kills. Easy. Next is Flint, who is a wannabe fire type trainer who uses a bunny, a blimp, and a steel snake instead of more fire types. He leads with Horse, I lead with Enamel. I work up with simple doubling the effect and serve one-shots. Even with the poison jab poisoning us, that's fine for now. Next is Lopunny, who puts us to 1 HP, Headbutt takes it to half, and Enamel dies to poison. Death 5. Fire Fist is out, and Power Up Punch kills. Steelix is next, and Power Up Punch does half, and Close Combat kills. Driftblim is next, and I switch to Murderer for safety. He minimizes and burns me, then Thunderbolt one-shots. Last is his Monkey, so I switch to Fish for safety and get Close Combated to red. Bad idea on my part. I go to Fire Fist and Mach Punch takes us to low. Another Mach Punch kills. Murderer is back, Close Combat crits for a one-shot. Fish gets Mach Punched to death, and Thorn dies to Fire Punch. Locke lost. That's it. I did replay the Elite Four with the same team without Nuzlocke rules to finish the game afterwards, but that's not really too interesting for you to watch, since it's just a normal run with a decent team, containing a legendary and being able to use items in battle from there on. With all of that, the game is not really a challenge, of course. I did try doing Cynthia with the rules, so no items in battle, and I did beat her, so I would have won the lock if I had kept my entire team until Cynthia. Half our team survived that fight. Either way, if you want to watch that, the last episode of the VODs of that run does have that cut at the end, so you can watch that run through in its entirety. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the run. Obviously, for all randomized variants of this log type that I'll be doing, including the Sapphire Deadman's log that's going on stream at the moment over on Twitch, I will restart on losing the log on a fresh randomization until I beat it. That just didn't seem worth it for a standard game. Would just be more of the same after all with zero variation. Until that run is ready for this kind of video, if you want to see more challenge runs, the playlist for the Pokemon challenges and other game challenges are linked in the description down below. Subscribe and click the bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitch for live stream notifications. Follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with what's going on. And sub on Twitch or become a member on YouTube if you like to get access to the Discord server, as well as a nice badge next to your name and exclusive emotes to use in chat and comments. Until next time, my name is WW Deadman. Bye.